but they're never going to get anybody. So what happens is that some of them get eaten by sharks. And the ones that they save, they interview them, and they're going to report them. And they say, we're going to report you, and what are you going to do now? We're going to go back. We're going to get in the boat and come back. But your family, your friends are eaten by sharks, because we don't care. Because we would rather die than not have our freedom. See how important freedom is? So, when we talk about our story, and our story is done in 3 sections. Number 1, our childhood. Number 2 is our teen years. And number 3 is our adult years. And we talk about who we are as a person, not what we have. And the reason is, it's not duplicatable. We talk about what we have. Because the next person may not have anything. So we talk about who we are. And you notice, why we talk about that? Because that's very duplicatable, because everybody has a story. We talk about the story. Now, we have to develop a story, but the story transfers the core values to touch on the spiritual. Because you can get up and tell a nice story, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it won't do anything. It won't move anybody. It won't move anybody. Okay? So now we have the invitation. So now we invite these people, and well, why do we invite them? Why do we invite them to our home? Why don't we invite them to somewhere else? Why don't we invite them to a restaurant instead? Is that duplicatable? Let's say, for example, Gene and Craig here. And Gene invites me to a restaurant because I'm his prospect. And he buys me dinner. And Craig doesn't have the money to do that. Is that duplicatable? We have home meetings. We have 2 home meetings. The reason we have 2 is because I don't care how excited you are, you're not going to want to have a meeting every night at your home. And if you do, you're responsible. I guarantee you will not. So we have 2. The first one is to invite our friends. The second one is to invite the ones that didn't make it. Our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, people from church. And then we go to their homes. The other reason is we only have 2 is we don't have a bunch of strangers we want to welcome to our home. That could be a little dangerous, couldn't it? You start inviting people off the street to your home, you don't even know. That's all dangerous. So we have 2 home meetings. Now, at the home meeting, we serve refreshments. And the refreshments are where you go, chocolate. We serve the energy drink. And we serve the winter cookies. Now think about it. If you had 1,000 home meetings at any given night of the week, isn't this a very clever way of moving product without selling? I mean, really, people in the world, they have to do this to start their business. So every night they have their home meetings, they're serving this product. This is before they buy anything else. Because people need to sell. You ever hear anybody say, well, gee, Tom, I really can't get up there and talk in front of people, public speaking is actually the number 1 fear in America. Well, I remember the first time I spoke was at a convention. It was 1990 in February in Washington. So it was cold. And I was like, sweating. And I had practiced. I had wrote my speech up, typed it. It was fonts, it was bold and everything. And I had 20 minutes. And I'm ready, but I'm very nervous. And there's a lot of people in this auditorium. There's a big stage, and stuff. And my sponsor, Tom Schreiber, who learned a lot of things about this business from, said, Tom, let me give you some advice on this. Tell me what you're going to say. I can't tell you anything. I said, well, I'll tell you how I'm going to start. So I got this great joke, very festival. And I told him a joke, and he goes, I said, what do you mean? Tom, never, ever start with a joke. Because when you start with a joke and people don't laugh, you do the whole speech. I said, Tom, I have 10 minutes for us to go up there. Now time still got 3 minutes. What are we going to talk about? Well, you qualified for a car. Why don't you talk about your car story? People like stories. I said, okay, I know that story. I said, oh, that's good. Now we'll give you an opening line or something. And he says, okay, here's what you do. You say, I found a really easy way on how to qualify for a car. And then start your story. I said, well, I can do that. And then what about a thing? When you get up on stage, you're on stage, you get a big spotlight on you, and you see the first row and part of the second row. And everything else is pitch black. So pretend you're talking to a handful of people. So that's easier said than done. But I got up there and I was real nervous, and I took a deep breath and I said, I found a really easy way on how to get your car. And from way in the back, up in the darkness there's a voice. And it said, yeah, what is it? And I was like, blank. I had no idea what I said, but I spoke for 10 minutes. 10 minutes I spoke. And I maybe it was 8 minutes. And I never knew what I said. To this day I don't know what I said. But I was able to finish it. So I know that people are shy. I know that people cannot do that. I mean, even if you have a dream, even if you're very excited. However, anybody can get up with their friends, their neighbors, a small group, and talk about who they are. Because any question I ask God for about himself, he'll be able to answer. So, now, is he an expert? Well, he tells his story, and then we're going to do a presentation here, and then he gives them an opportunity to review. An opportunity to review is all the information necessary to make a decision. Talks about the marketing plan, talks about the compensation plan, and all that stuff. Now, let's say Craig says, Tom, what compensation plan do you use? Can you kind of go over all the different levels? So, Craig, that's a very good question. And in this opportunity to review, all the answers will be there. He's satisfied. And then Arthur says, Tom, this vitamin thing, this nutrition company, that has vitamins? I said, yes. And those vitamins, the multiple vitamin, does that have vitamin A? I said, yeah. And that vitamin, vitamin A, is that beta-carotene or fish oil? I don't know. He may ask me something I may not be able to answer. And if that's the case, is that duplicatable? Do I feel like a failure? I will get up and do it. So I guess what I'm saying is that we're going to talk about that. Everything's in the opportunity to review. You ask that question, it's a very good question, Arthur. It's in the opportunity to review. Well, let's say someone has said to me this time, how come you don't talk about the company? Well, I do, but not at a presentation. That's later. Because number one, I don't own the company. And they were able to ask me something I may not know about the company. Craig asked me, Tom, that company, I'll go up for example and say, hi Craig, I just joined this company called Nutrition for Life. And I'm a distributor for it, and I'm very proud of it, it's a great company, and blah, 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 blah. And Craig says, nutrition. Is that a nutritional company? Yeah. Well, it goes back to the product thing. But he's not interested. Or he says, Tom, is that Nutrition for Life, is that a public company or a private company? Well, it's a public. And it's a public company. The stock, the last 3 days, have they gone up or down? I mean, I know that question. So how do I feel then? Stupid? And I will answer. But if you ask me any question about me, I can answer that question. Right? Alright. So let's go to the presentation. I cannot ask any of you what your dreams are unless I share my story first. So that's the first thing we do. And we're not going to do the whole story back. I share part of my story with you. But the story's going to be maybe 15, 20 minutes. Because that story, when we talk about taking the core values and transferring it to the spiritual, that's the purpose of the story. Because when people leave, I promise you, what they'll remember is your story. Not parts of your story. They will remember how many bonus levels the marketing plan pays. They won't. They don't remember all the different products that we have. So what happens is that after our story, the first word comes up, it said, What are some of your dreams? Now, remember the way people think. They think in terms of what they understand. Money, cars, things, and something like a house. Everyone wants a house. We talked about cars. Everybody wants cars. Maybe like money in the bank. Money in the bank. Pay bills. Anybody happy with some? Vacation. Vacations. Boats. Education for children. And so on. And it continues and continues and continues to grow. So now we ask the question, with your current income, can you achieve your dreams? The question is what? No. Always, it's no. If they can, we didn't build enough dreams, right? So we raise this morning. And then we look at some options. What are our options? Number one, there's investments. Because what does it take for investments?
Money.
Money. Gotta have money, right? Number two, the second job. Or the spouse goes to work. I had a guy tell me that his wife didn't have to work, and the only reason she had to work was because he didn't want her to be bored at home. And all she had to do was take care of the kids, fix 3 meals, do laundry, clean the house, but she could do that at night. That's not my story, okay? Somebody stick with it. Number 3, you can start a traditional business. Or, number 4, we can do a network marketing business. Okay? Now, in the traditional business, what we have, and this is just for the sake of this illustration, we have manufacturer pays 40%. And then it goes to a broker. Then it goes to a wholesaler. Then it goes to a retailer. And then there's a little bit of advertising there. Then it goes to you, the consumer. That's a traditional business. The network marketing business, manufacturer takes 40%. Then it goes to a broker. I'm sorry. Then it goes to a network. And they take 60%. Now, the network consumes 80% of the product. And the other 20% they sell to their friends and neighbors, people who don't want to come into this. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were to start a company tomorrow, would you better be start with one product or a variety of products?
Right.
That's what we have. And would you better to start with a product that people use on a daily basis or a product that people use once a year?
Daily.
That's what we have. So let me ask you this. How many of you ever use shampoo? Conditioner for your hair, toothpaste, toothbrushes, wash your clothes, eat some cookies once in a while, take a vitamin. Now, would you like me to spend the rest of the evening here talking about how to brush your teeth or how to build a residual income?
Residual income.
Well, you see, I'm asking you to tell me what to do. So let's talk about that. So briefly, let's talk about 2 concepts. Concept number 1 is called a personal group. Let's say this is Craig. And Craig, let's have 40 friends. What's their names? Bob, Randy,
Bill,
Christine. talks to these friends of his, and he shares this concept with them. And he shares it one time. And they start buying the product. And he doesn't have to come in and sell it on the product. They buy it directly from the company. So one time for doing that, Quick's going to make 20 to 45%. Well, for your sales, is 45% extremely high for something that you do one time, and you don't have to do it again, repeat it every day?
Sure.
That's extremely high, right?
Yeah.
Okay? The second concept is the executive organization. And this is a 4x7 expandable to 8x7. So, in order to draw this money here, Arthur, you must be an executive. But to be an executive, it takes you and your whole group, cumulatively, and it could be a month, 2 months, a year, doesn't matter, to do $1,500 or $1,200. There's a way to do it with $1,000. And once you do that, you live all that money. Arthur, as an executive, when your friends, or credit brother, when your friends become executives like you, they will join you here, and you're going to draw an average of 15.5% of everything they do. And their friends, who are not executives yet, will earn the 20 to 45%. Now, we do have a bonus